Are you confused by the fact that your strongest triggers, emotional outbursts, are usually around the people that you love, your friends, your work, the things that you are passionate about? And it seems so, when you think about it, contradictory. I mean, why do I yell and get excited around these people that seem so important to me? Or I may have an opinion about them, or why they're not loving me, or they're not with me, or they're choosing to act a certain way. And when the trigger comes upon us, one of the first feelings that we get, I can remember this so clearly for myself, is that I feel bad. Gosh, I just yelled at someone who's really important to me. Why did I do that? Is there something wrong with me? Do I not care for them? I lost my mind for a moment. What happened? And it's a sort of a complicated setup. And I want to explain that to you in this video and shed some light, because there's some real positive things that can come out of this. You see, triggers are based around emotions. Something happens, we have an emotion about it, and then way before we even think about it, we're already starting to react. So a trigger is stimulated and created around those things that have the most emotional content that's relevant to us in our life. And for most people, it revolves around love, friendship, work, money, politics, whatever that may be. You're an artist. You get triggered if someone doesn't like your painting. It's whatever we love, whatever we feel connected to, that's where our strongest triggers lie. And instead of it being a contradiction, it's really an affirmation. I mean, think about it for a minute. You love your spouse, for example, but yet you fight. And the reason why you may fight or have arguments is not because you don't love each other, but the fact that you love each other heats up the conversation, because on both sides of that conversation are expectations and potential, probably real wounds that occurred early on. Because when we're dealing with something that we love, something that we're compassionate about, then we're interested, right? You know, if somebody says something to you and you don't really care about them or how they feel, they're not really a deep friend, you can let it slip by. But when it's someone that you love, it's someone that you care for, someone that you admire, then it really hurts. So I'll draw the conclusion that love and commitment fuels triggers, because somewhere along the line, you had some love, you had a connection, and it was broken. You loved and didn't get it back. You had a friend who betrayed you, a boss that betrayed you, whatever it may be. And so that is a hot topic for you. That's a familiar phrase, right? A hot topic. It's important to you. You don't ever want that to happen again, do you? And so when you love someone, not only do you love them, but you also don't want to lose them. You don't want to have that fear and that pain come into this relationship that was in a prior one. So the more you love, the more you care, the more that you're invested, the stronger the trigger will be. Now, why do most partners, for example, fight? Or friends, for that matter? Well, is it because they're that different? If they're friends, they already like each other. If you're lovers, you already love each other. No, it's that each one of us comes into this world with triggers, with wounds, with fears. So, but each of us have our own nuance of that trigger. Maybe you had a lover who once, or a spouse who once looked at you a certain way and then acted terribly to you. And that could have been years ago. And now this new person in your life is starting to look at you that very same way, and you're getting triggered. So you start saying something in defense, aggressively, or you start going within. Why? Because you're trying to prepare for what your mind and your body thinks is coming next, even though it may not be. And we don't know what that other person is thinking. I had a teacher who trained me to think, if someone's looking at me a certain way or says something, that I immediately say, what's going on here? Are you upset with me? What's that look mean? Why did you use those words? And usually, I'd say 90% of the time, they go, oh, I'm sorry, Ed. I was just thinking of something terrible that I have to do later today. Or I was just remembering something. It had nothing to do with you. And yet I felt it did. Because my trigger said it must be. I was seeing it through the lens of the past. And so I preemptively reacted. So what if two people in love have two different triggers that keep triggering each other? Someone has to shoot up a flare and say, hey, wait a minute. Our triggers are fighting and battling here, not us. We love each other. But in the moment, we have emotion, then the mind follows with accusations or questions or heated voice or whatever. So someone's got to say, wait a minute, I'm triggered. Let me shoot up a flare and see what's going on. And that's how I work with my couples. And it's amazing what you can find. Now, maybe in a work situation, you can't do that with your boss. I was in another video, I mentioned how a client of mine got fired. He came into the session. He said, hey, I got fired. I said, okay, what did you say? Why did you say it like that? We discovered that he got triggered. And then what he said and the way he said it triggered his boss, and his boss fired him. I mean, it's not a laughing matter, but it could have been avoided. Hey, sure, how did he know that the way he was going to say it reminded his boss of a really bad employee? And so he just fired him on the spot. So knowing our triggers, especially when it's involved in someone that we're deeply connected to in some way, someone's got to shoot up the flare. Someone's got to say, hey, what's going on here? Let's break this illusion and take a breath. Realize that we're triggered. What do we really feel? What are we really afraid of? How do we really feel right now about each other, about what we need to do, whatever it may be? And realize that when you get triggered by someone that you like, someone that you admire, it's because they really care. Okay, hope you enjoyed this, and until the next video.